Hello, everybody. Gabriel here, and I want to welcome you to the first episode of the Leadership Safety Brief. This week's Leadership Safety Brief is geared more towards safety professionals, so your environmental health and safety managers, safety specialists, or frontline safety supervisors. But for those of you who may be in management or the C-suite, it's a good video for you guys to get some insight into what your safety professionals might be dealing with. So without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. So for my safety professionals out there, you will go through a season of what I call purposeless safety. Some of you may be in it right now. If you've never gone through it, trust me, you will. The way to figure out if you've entered a season of purposeless safety is to ask the following questions. 1, has safety just become a check in the box, or are you just going through the motions? Have you ever felt like you had to ask management for guidance on your role, and maybe the only thing you got back was to reduce claims frequency, claims severity, or just an overall reduction in injuries? Or my personal favorite that I've seen time and time again throughout the industry, when you walk out into the work site, do you get looks, smart comments, only to go back to the office and say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on admin work today? Well, then, my friend, you've entered a season of purposeless safety. But don't be worried, in today's world, it's actually quite common for safety professionals to enter this kind of season. In today's culture, we value productivity over almost everything. And this can sometimes get to our heads and cause us to enter this kind of season. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to get out of it. So the way you get out of this is by what I call renewing the safety mindset. It's worked for me. It's worked for my clients who hold safety positions, and it's great for pulling you out of this season. To pull yourself out of this, I usually recommend 3 different goals. 1, remember the mission. When I coach safety professionals on remembering the mission, I usually refer to the BCSP's definition of what a safety professional is. So I'm going to go ahead and read that off. So the BCSP defines the safety profession as a preventative profession focused on identifying hazards, assessing risk, and implementing controls to prevent injuries, illnesses, fatalities, property damage, and environmental harm. So despite what you may have been told by other safety professionals or maybe even your leadership, our goal isn't simply to just reduce claims frequency or injury frequency or reduce claims or injury severity. It's to protect people and protect the property. That way, employees not only make it home safe to their families, but also have a job to come back to. So as long as you can remember that mission, everything else, the claims frequency, severity, DART rate, that will all fall into place as long as we perform our core duties, which is within the Board of Certified Safety Professionals definition of what a safety professional is. Number 2 is get to know your people. From what I've seen and experienced myself, is the best safety professionals are those that genuinely care about the employees they're charged to protect. And the best way to do that is through simple conversations. Get to know their hobbies, what they're going back home to, maybe what their life looks like. You don't have to dig too deep, but just get to know them on a surface level. And what might come along with that is developing sympathy. If not, make a dedicated effort to feel sympathy for these employees. An example I give all the time is, as safety professionals, we have the luxury of having a intellectually demanding job, whereas a lot of employees have a physically demanding job. The best way to do this is by simply shadowing an employee for the day, seeing what they go through, what the unique challenges are to their job. And it also helps you from a safety standpoint to really be able to prescribe corrective actions that are practical and make sense for that job. And number 3, understand your company's values. So this one is important because, if you've gone through the last 2, remembering the mission and getting to know your people, and you still feel stuck, it may not be you, it may be the organization. If you suspect that to be the case, I recommend you ask to sit in on staff meetings, right? Get to know what your leadership's thought process looks like, how they make decisions, what data they use. And from that, you can start to see what they value. Maybe they value productivity over safety. Maybe they need a little extra push. And it's not uncommon for safety professionals to really have to grind through this part of it. I like to tell my own personal story from a previous employer. So I used to work at a foundry where there was a heavy silica exposure. I did some air testing. It was above OSHA's permissible exposure limit, or above their action limit. And I brought this to management. I said, we need to put these corrective actions in place and we should get started on it now. They kind of sidelined me. They shrugged it off. And after a couple of months of me pressing the issue and trying to get some motion on it, I was ultimately fired. And so I like to tell that story to show you that sometimes it's not you. You could have good intentions. You could be a good safety professional, but the company's values just won't align. But please make sure to make an effort to understand your company's values. Don't just say, my company's values don't align with safety. Actually take the time to sit on the staff meetings, get to know their thought process. That way you have a solid understanding of what's going on. And so with that, this concludes the end of this week's leadership safety brief. I like to keep these short, that way you guys can watch it, drink your coffee and then get on with your day and get out there and hit it hard. So I promised you guys one deliverable per episode. This week's deliverable is very simple. I simply want you guys to ask yourself, am I just going through the motions, or am I looking out for my employees' safety and health? Ask yourself if you're just checking boxes or if you're actually applying what you know in the safety field to your job. If not, then it's likely that you've entered the season of purposeless safety, which then you definitely should apply these items that I talked about during this episode. If you're still stuck after answering the questions, after going through remembering the mission, getting to know your people, and understanding your company's values, feel free to leave a question in the comments. I answer every single question that you guys put down there. Feel free to go to my website, www.atlassafetyconsultants.com, and fill out a contact us form. Each one of those messages gets sent directly to my email. I'll connect with you guys and provide you with a free 30-minute coaching. No hidden fees. This is me giving back to the safety profession. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if this helped you out. Please subscribe if you want to see the rest of the Leadership Safety Brief series, and I'll see you guys next week.